Hey guys. So, mornings with Mish. I don't know what time it is. Time is an illusion, anyways. So, cheers. So, my message for today, and I've talked about this before, but I think, it's appropriate to talk about it every now and then because new people are watching my snap and a lot of people are going through their spiritual awakening, and it can be very, very, very depressing at first because you're starting to realize that things around you in your life, most shit is just bullshit, really, what it comes down to. The life we've been born into is like slavery of the mind, and when you go through an awakening, you're freeing your mind of the slave mentality, I guess, that they've put us in for centuries and centuries. And it can be very depressing when you start to realize and wake up to the things that have, been our reality. You go through a period where there's just so much information coming in, and a lot of the times you go into an isolation period. Well, for me, I went into an isolation period from my understanding of the people that I learned off of and follow on social media and YouTube. They also went through a long period of isolation. So the isolation period has you in your own little world where you want to know everything. You want to expand in your knowledge. You want to understand life more. You want to understand yourself, right? And this period can be very dark. It can be very very lonely, and the realizations that you have can bring a lot of just heavy energy. So then you'll go through a period where you're on like a high, where your energy is elevated, your vibration is risen, because when you do go through this awakening, you raising your vibration, you're raising your energy level. So you'll be on a high, and I call this period, I say I'm halfway between here and heaven. It's that period where you're literally in your own world, you're in the stars, right? And this is the period where a lot of people would assume you're crazy. This is the period where Russell Brand was for a long time in the spotlight, where everybody's looking at him like, you're a motherfucking crazy person. Like, the things that you're thinking and saying and speaking, you sound crazy. Like, that guy is crazy. He needs to go to the mental hospital. You're not crazy. You're just waking up. You're in that in-between dimension. You're halfway between here and heaven because you're at a place consciously where you're not on the same level where everybody else around you is at. And it can be very, very lonely place to be. Yet when you're on that high, you're not realizing it, right? So people are looking at you like, yo, you're weird. You're fucking crazy. You're like going crazy, right? You're not going crazy. Don't let people tell you you're going crazy when you're waking up and you're expanding in your knowledge. It's that they're at a level where they're not at that expansive level in their journey where they're understanding anything that's coming out of your mouth. So when you get to this point, right, when you're at this place where people are calling you crazy and you're acting, you're in your thoughts. You're thinking so different. You're expansive thinking. Your knowledge is so big, right? You stay at that level of consciousness, right? Because I'm still there. I'm at that level of consciousness, but you have to ground your energy and bring it back down to earth. And I still have the same thoughts of that period where I was expressive about all that, right? And I am. I'm speaking to you guys, so I haven't changed much other than I've grounded my energy. When you ground your energy, you're grounded to the earth, right? Your thoughts are still up, but you're grounded, and it keeps you in more of like an observative state, like where I'm able to have those thoughts, yet I'm understanding that not everybody is at that level of consciousness as I am. Whereas before, when I was like halfway between here and heaven in the sky, you're just speaking and expressing, and not everyone is understanding you, but you're just kind of like, well, why isn't anyone, understanding me? Everyone's calling you crazy, and you're kind of like, am I crazy? I'm not crazy. Once you ground your energy, you feel more balanced. like I said, you're still going to have those thoughts. You're still going to have the things and the downloads and the knowledge and the wisdom that comes to you. But your energy is going to be grounded. It's going to keep you more balanced. And you're going to know when and where is the place to, you know, express these feelings and these thoughts that you're having inside your head. I always talk about Russell Brand because he was, you would assume, a crazy person. And now when you see him, after he's healed himself fully and grounded his energy, he is a spiritual teacher. He is a healer, and he is very balanced and at peace. And if you had seen him years ago when he was like dating Katy Perry and shit, you would have never, ever, ever assumed that that was going to be how he was going to turn out. So if you're going through this period where you're just gaining all these downloads and knowledge and everything's coming to you, you're waking up from the matrix, you're waking up from that slave life that you've been living in mentally, imprisoned in your own mind, you're waking up. You're going to have a period where everyone's going to look at you crazy, and I encourage you to study on grounding your energy and understand the importance of meditation and breathing into the earth and, you know, putting your feet on the earth and bringing the energy back down here, because reality is we are in this 3D reality where everybody has a different level of consciousness around us, right? It's very rare to connect with people that are at a higher level of consciousness. But when you do, and you will meet those people, I know it seems like it's lonely, but we are out there. And when you do get to have that conversation with somebody who is at that level of consciousness, you're just like, the energy is just so powerful, and it's amazing, you know. So we are a rare breed, and you are chosen to awaken to your divinity, and you should be so grateful for that. And I understand it can be lonely, and you know, you can feel a little crazy at times. Trust me, I get it. But you have to enjoy the ride. You have to experience every moment in its glory. And even if it's a negative, you know, shadow moment, you have to just be present and understand that everything in your life happens just as it's supposed to. The last thing I want to say real quick is it's really hard to expand in your own mind when you have people around you influencing your thoughts, people around to discuss and talk about things to help you make decisions for yourself, you know. And you know, not a lot of people are born into this world feeling lonely, you know. I mean, a lot of people have their family very close to them, but they're waking up and their family are staying at a level of consciousness, and they're being called to wake up into a new level of consciousness. So you can understand the hardship that you're going to have to go through in expanding in your level of consciousness when you have people around you that aren't ready to wake up. Not everybody is going to wake up to their divinity in this lifetime. And I just encourage people to, you know, if you're somebody who always needs advice, or you always need a friend to talk to, you always have a family member to talk to, you always get influenced or guided in a direction from somebody outside of yourself, you need to sit with yourself. You need to sit with who you are. This is your journey. And most people have been living their life being influenced by people, you know, family members, trying to please others, trying to do the right thing, going to church, going to therapists, having, you know, taking advice from other people, that yet they haven't sat with themselves and tried to figure out anything for themselves. And it's that you don't trust the voice that's inside your head. You don't trust your soul. Your soul is trying to speak to you, yet you've been ignoring your soul your whole life. It's time to connect with yourself and find out who you really are.